I'm back with another episode of It's Deeper Than Cars. I'm finally getting another chance to do another interview. The rain is finally gone, so I'm excited about doing this interview. I'm gonna let the owner introduce himself and tell you a little bit about his custom truck and what he got going on. So if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to be part of the interview, just contact me and let me know. Okay. I appreciate you taking the time to do the interview with me. You'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your custom truck?
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Mike Reinhardt. Welcome to Summerville, South Carolina. We're here today to talk about my 1991 GMC 1500 Sierra. This truck is very special to me in as much as I have actually owned it twice now. The truck was originally purchased January 25th, 1992 by my son and I from De La Fuente, Olds, Cadillac, and GMC in El Cajon, California.
Wow.
We kept the truck until March of 2003, at which time I traded it in locally here in the Charleston area on a new F-150 Harley-Davidson version.
I like those.
I immediately regretted having gotten rid of this particular truck. I actually went back the following Monday and tried to repurchase the truck, only we could not come to terms.
Wow.
So I sadly left with my new Harley-Davidson F-150 and left this one behind.
Man, that's an interesting story.
It is a unique vehicle because of the story that goes along with it. My son and I left our home that morning to buy a truck. The only advice given to us by my wife and daughter were have fun and please don't buy anything else that's red. My last 2 or 3 vehicles had been red. So this unfortunately was a deal that we came across. Again, January of 92, and this was a leftover 91 model.
Okay.
It served us well. It has ties to some of the other vehicles I have in the family as well. In 1992, Labor Day, my daughter and I drove from Southern California to El Paso, Texas, where I met my mom and dad because my dad was gifting to me his 1966 International Scout.
Wow.
Now, Dad used this as a farm tool, as an implement. He hunted, he fished, he basically ran over stuff, and it was not in real good shape. But it was free, so I couldn't pass that deal up.
Can't pass that.
I still have the 66 International Scout that this vehicle towed back to Southern California and we started the restoration on.
Wow.
Aside from that, the story about how this came back to us is pretty amazing to me. My son, after having listened to me for 18 plus years about how I missed this truck and how I was going to buy another one like it, took it upon himself to do a search and actually found the very vehicle, this vehicle, that he and I purchased back in 1992, located pretty close to us here in Goose Creek, South Carolina. He contacted the owner, which was an 84-year-old retired Marine who had purchased the truck from Palmetto Ford right after I traded it in and kept it for those 18 years that I did not have it.
Wow.
My son told me nothing about this acquisition, but he had a plan. He purchased the truck and then in April of last year, 2021, had the truck taken up to Carolina Truck Shop in Spartanburg and commissioned a restoration on the truck, telling the guys that they needed to get it done in about 3 months because he wanted to give it to the wife and I as a 40th wedding anniversary gift.
That's nice.
A restoration of this sort normally takes years, but as it all worked out, they did get it basically cosmetically restored, and the son surprised us with it on July 16th of 2021. We're all sitting outside at the house. Son hands me a gift wrap box and says, "Here's your anniversary gift." I hand it to the wife, which is customary, and said, "Here, you open this." She opens the box and finds what appears to be some kind of leather-bound booklet. She hands it back to me. I look at it, and it's an embossed owner's manual for a GMC pickup.
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking, My son actually went somewhere and found an owner's manual to give me back to tell me that he remembered the old truck. My son said, "No, actually you need to open that up, Dad." I said, "Why?" He said, "Trust me, just opened it." I opened up the booklet, and there in my handwriting was the original owner's card from when I had purchased the vehicle.
Oh, wow.
And filled it out back in 1992.
Wow.
Needless to say, there were a lot of tears. I still tear up thinking about it. It is an amazing story that I think goes a long way to telling us about the bond in the family that we have with trucks and
Yeah, that's
cars
a deep story.
and longevity, if nothing else.
That's a deep story. And
So that's kind of the story of this one for now. We've gone back through it. It's been updated with modern wheels and tires. It has a 3.5 drop. We added slotted and ventilated disc brakes. It's running pace setter headers with Flowmaster exhaust. The body has been basically color matched, meaning handles, grille, bumpers, and so forth are all painted Victory Red. We did shave the stake pockets off the bed because that's something I always wanted to do the first time I had it and couldn't afford to.
Okay.
But did this time, and even went as far as to restore the bed to pristine like new condition. Because I wanted it to be as close as possible to do. And in all honesty, it's probably better now than it was when I did buy it.
That is true. That is true.
A few things left to do. I need to work on the interior. After 30 some odd years of wear and tear on the seat and people's posteriors rubbing across the seat, it's worn. I've just actually found reproduction, or not reproduction, but OEM upholstery for it.
Wow.
And I'm working with a local upholstery group to see if I can get the seats redone on it sometime in the next couple of months, hopefully.
Okay. Okay. And what made you go with the GMC versus the Silverado? Personal preference, or just?
I prefer the looks of the GMC grill versus the Silverado of that area.
Okay.
And remember, 1992 was basically before the internet as we know it today. It was certainly before the iPhone. So buying a new vehicle then typically entailed either calling the dealership and saying, "Gee, what do you have?" Looking through their newspaper ads to see if they had anything, or still my favorite activity, going to the dealership and just kicking tires and looking at what they did have.
True.
So that was our experience back in 1992 when we found the truck.
Okay. Okay.
Now, why GMC? I prefer the grille on the GMC versus the Chevrolet.
Okay.
And my first vehicle was a 1950 GMC.
Oh, wow.
And I credit my granddad and dad with getting me started down this path of multiple vehicles and trucks.
Okay.
Because granddad told me at age 11 if I could make it run, I could have it. That kind of challenge you don't throw down to an 11-year-old who lives on a farm in Texas with nothing else to do.
Okay.
Took a couple of months, had it up and running, and while not legally able to drive, was terrorizing the roads around our country town for about 4 years before I got my license, actually. So
Oh, wow.
had a good time with it.
Wow. Okay.
Had one other GMC. It turned out to be a 69. So I've had 3 of those. My son currently has a GMC and a 68 model custom as well.
Wow.
But yeah, I particularly like this vehicle. This was the beginning of the era of the sport truck. GM introduced this particular platform, GMT 400, in 1988, and it started what was known as the sport truck craze. Started out on the West Coast, migrated back to the East. Typically involved big, wide, fat tires, a little bit of lowering, and the monochromatic look, and just a nice, sporty, short bed, single cab truck. Obviously, we've updated this one with some 20-inch wheels and tires, lowered the suspension even further, but it retains that sport truck flair that I am drawn to. Got any questions?
What made you choose these wheels?
Wheel choices I always struggle with, to be honest, because I want something that is fairly unique, but also available. I'm not, unfortunately, somebody that can afford a $6,000 set of wheels, but I want something that looks good. So
That
after
looks good.
pouring through the internet, looking at pictures of other trucks, I settled on these Riddlers because of the design. I like the classic, basic 5-spoke design. These were split on the bottom, and again, one that you don't commonly see. I have one other sport truck, and it's got 20-inch torque thrust on it, which are probably the most common wheel that you
wheels.
find on these trucks.
That is true. You made a good choice with the wheels.
Well, thank you.
You did
I like
anything? You did anything to the engine? Any engine work done to it?
Engine is stock. However, during the mechanical restoration, replace the entire air conditioning system on it because I've gotten to where I don't appreciate sweating near as much as I used to.
I don't blame you.
We were throwing a check engine code after prolonged running, determined that was due to warped factory exhaust manifolds.
Ooh.
So went back in with a set of ceramic coated pace setter headers,
Okay.
added a new exhaust complete with X-pipe, Flowmaster mufflers exiting out behind the rear wheels.
Okay.
It's got a little chrome dress-up kit on it, and it'll serve until it blows up, and then we'll figure out what to do next.
I don't blame you. Mind getting a shot at the engine?
Absolutely.
The engine.
Tame by most standards,
Okay.
but still not terrible.
That's good. This is a 350?
This is a 350.
Okay.
It's got a 700 R4 transmission, so the overdrive, and it's got 342 gears in the back. It's a good cruiser.
Okay. Might let us hear it? Hearing that exhaust?
Sure.
You know what series floor masters you have?
I do not know exactly what series. My instructions to them were I want something that's not loud and obnoxious. This one is about as quiet as you can get with a Flowmaster.
Okay.
Other I actually run Walker quiet ones, like Walker, a little bit better.
Okay.
These will work for now.
Gotcha.
Got 2.5-inch pipes all the way back. Then do an X pipe on it to increase the efficiency.
Okay. That sounds good.
Thank you.
Good. Besides the interior, anything else you want to do to it? Besides the interior, are you pretty much happy with
Well,
it?
we've gone through several things already this year after we got it back. The number one thing that I wanted to have done was to get it ceramic coated to protect
Okay.
the exterior finish and just basically give it an extra edge and shine, a little pop. We had that done, and then I also had the front bumper, which is painted, wrapped with a 3M clear wrap to protect it from our roads and all the road debris that we find here in South Carolina,
Okay.
because it will chip rather easily. But now with the clear wrap on it, I think we're protected on that front as well.
Gotcha.
Other things down the road, again, the mufflers are going to get changed out to Walker Quiet Flow at some point in the future.
Okay.
We are going to redo the upholstery on the inside using OEM fabric because I want to retain that OEM look to it. And then beyond that, I think we're going to love it, drive it, and just enjoy the heck out of it.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. So if you had to list your top 5 or top 3 favorite cars or dream cars, what would it be? Or dream trucks, what would it be?
You know, it's interesting because I own 4 of those already, probably.
That's pretty good. Then.
I've got the 91 GMC that I love. This one, again, 32 years worth of history. Got the 66 Scout that I've had almost as long. That was my dad's. I've got a 69 C10 pickup that belonged to the farmer across the road from Mom and Dad. We've gone through that. It started as a 6-cylinder 3-speed. It's now a 400 small block, 700 R4 lowered on torque thrust, shop truck logoed with the Triple R Ranch, which was Mom and Dad's place in Texas. I've got a 65 F100
Okay.
that was sold new in the upstate in October 1964. It's got 73,000 miles on it. And I think what I'd add back to my fleet at this point is that missing 2002 Ford F-150 Harley Davidson.
Okay, good choice.
Again, just the whine of the supercharger on that will put a smile on your face that you can't even contain ear to ear.
Oh wow. Okay.
But that would be my top anyway.
Gotcha. Good choices. Good choices.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say to YouTube?
I appreciate you guys taking a look, listening to the story. I hope that perhaps this will inspire somebody else to go out, find an old junk truck or junk car, and bring it back to life and love it like I love my stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time with me to do the interview with me also.
I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.